Unlearn to relearn, the high performance shortcut to becoming truly unfuckwithable, because you can be driven, can be successful on paper, you can have all the money, the nice job title and a body that even makes people stare, or an impressive golf handicap, but if your mind's still running on the same outdated program that made you who that you used to be, then you're never going to feel free or keep on elevating forward. And you can tell them back in the UK, the coat's out. But most high performers don't need more information. They need reprogramming, because what got you here to this level won't get you to the next level. Not when your habits, your identity and your internal dialogue are still wired for survival, not expansion. Because I want to thrive, not survive. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly how to unlearn the patterns that sabotage you and relearn the mindset that makes you unstoppable from the inside out, because it's all about programming yourself from the inside out. So let me just ask you something raw to start off with. You know me, I don't cut no punches, because if you ever caught yourself saying, I know what I need to do, I just don't do it. That line right there, that's not laziness, that's poor programming. It's the subconscious, your subconscious mind running your life on autopilot, because your actions that you see in your life aren't random. They're the result of the old code that you've lived by, because beliefs that you didn't choose, rules that you've never questioned, and identity labels that you outgrew years ago, but you're still wearing it like a name tag. So if you ever want to truly evolve, stop trying to add more and spin more plates and do more, and start unlearning the mental junk that's been silently limiting you. Let me say that again. Unlearn the mental junk that's been silently limiting you. Because here's the truth about programming, subconscious programming specifically. When you were growing up, your brain was like a sponge, and that means you absorbed what your parents said, how they reacted, what they feared, how they loved, their worldview, and how they thought about money and success. So you absorbed society's versions of success. Go to school, get the job, keep everybody happy, don't stand out too much and be a people pleaser. But by the time you hit adulthood, most of your operating system was already written. And here's the big slap in the face that most people don't want to hear. You didn't write most of it, if any of it. And that means that a large part of your current behavior isn't you. It's just conditioning. It's borrowed programming. And just like outdated software, it constantly crashes when you try to install new goals or new beliefs on top that aren't congruent with the belief systems that you've got. So you try to scale your business, do more, get in better shape, and the system freezes with fear of failure. So you try to set boundaries and the system panics because it was taught saying no to people makes you selfish and a bad person and you're going to get judged. So you try to rest, but the system screams that you're being lazy, you're going to fall behind, you're already not good enough. Does any of that sound familiar to you? Because this isn't about a motivation problem. It's about a mental programming problem. Because here's the cost of staying the same and not making the effort to reprogram yourself subconsciously. It's a bit of a dark truth. But if you don't unlearn the behaviours that kept you alive in survival mode, they're going to destroy you in success mode. Because most high performers do not burn out because of the workload. Despite what they may think, they burn out because they're trying to achieve with an identity that's absolutely terrified of stillness. So that's exactly why you can have a 7-figure business and still feel like an imposter, still not feel good enough. That's why you can crush goals, but you still feel anxious and overwhelmed on a Sunday, because the system inside you only knows one speed. Go faster, do more, prove more, achieve harder, spin more plates, take more on. But what happens when that version of you finally gets everything it chased? You realise that it still isn't enough. You're still not enough. You're still not good enough. Because the truth is, you don't need more wins. You need a new internal code. You need to reprogram yourself from fear of not being able to do enough to faith that you already are enough. You're already brilliant. You're already universal energy having a human experience. So let me break down the science of unlearning these beliefs and the programming. And I'm going to make it practical for you, because unlearning isn't forgetting. It's retraining your nervous system to stop reacting to the old version of you. Every belief, every habit, every self-sabotaging pattern is just a neural pathway, a well-worn trail in your brain. And here's the good news. The brain is like plastic. It literally is neural plasticity. It rewires itself based on repetition and emotional intensity. That means every time you catch yourself reacting out of fear and scarcity and consciously choose differently, you start rewriting the new code and you're replacing the old survival-based programming with high-performance alignment. We call that the thriving programming. And this is where most people quit, because unlearning feels like a loss and it can feel a bit scary at first. Because when you stop chasing validation, people accuse you of changing. And when you stop overworking, your guilt and your negative self-image starts kicking in. And when you stop people pleasing, your brain starts screaming that you're in danger, but you're not. You're just evolving, and growth is good. It's the only thing that's consistent in life. And the system doesn't like updates, and it resists before it releases and lets you unlock this new level of life. So here's the process. Let's walk through how to unlearn and relearn step by step. Step number 1, awareness. You've got to track the pattern. You can't reprogram what you don't notice. So start tracking your emotional reactions when you do get triggered. What situations make you shrink, procrastinate, or start to overcompensate or fall into the habits of your small limited self? You've got to write them down, no judgment. You're not the pattern, you're the observer of it. Step number 2 is interrupt that loop. The moment you catch yourself falling into an old behaviour, take a second and pause. Take a deep breath, name it. Say, this is that old programming coming up. That single moment of awareness disconnects you from that subconscious autopilot and lets you create a new way of living. And this is not about perfection. You might still follow through with the habit, but now you're awake and you're aware of it. And that's the big difference here. And every time you can interrupt the loop, the pattern starts to weaken. So step number 3 is replace it with empowering beliefs, because your brain can't delete without replacing it. So you give it a new directive. Instead of a disempowering one, you give it an empowering one. So instead of I'm not enough, rewire it to self, I love myself completely, no matter what, my vibration is always rising. Instead of I don't have time to, rewire myself to I make my time for the important things. So when you attach emotion to the new language, you create new identity wiring, and over time those old circuits fade. So step number 4 is anchor it physically. You don't just reprogram your subconscious by thinking, you reprogram it by embodying. This means pairing your new beliefs with movement, with breath, with consistent daily reps. So you got to meditate with your affirmations, train while visualizing your future self, get excited about it, speak your new story out loud while walking, driving, or journaling. Because this isn't woo-woo, it's neuroscience, it's proven. The body becomes the bridge between the conscious and the subconscious. So step number 5 is surround yourself with reinforcement. You can't rewire yourself in an environment that keeps triggering the old code. So upgrade your inputs, the people you follow, the content you consume, the conversations that you allow. Because if your circle doesn't challenge your identity, it will reinforce your old one. Let me say that again. If your circle doesn't challenge your identity, it will reinforce the old one. And that's exactly why alignment is contagious. When you're around people who are grounded, disciplined, focused, then your subconscious mind starts recalibrating automatically. And the opposite of that is also true. So here's the relearning phase. Unlearning and relearning clears the space, because relearning fills that space with power. So once you've disrupted your old operating system, you can start installing the new one, the 3 M's: mindset, movement, and money. So number 1, mindset. You've got to relearn how to talk to yourself, shift yourself from self-criticism into self-coaching and self-empowerment. Instead of saying to yourself, what's wrong with me? Start asking yourself, what's this teaching me? What lessons do I need to learn? Because self-talk is subconscious programming happening in real time. Which leads me on to the second M, which is movement. So relearn how you use your body. When you start training daily, it's not just for the aesthetics, even though that will improve too. It's about a constant reminder that you control your state and how you feel. You're teaching your nervous system that discomfort equals growth, not danger. And that's the essence of becoming unfuckwithable. Mastering your response and not just your environment, which is the third M, money. You've got to relearn your relationship with wealth. This has been a massive one for me, because money's neutral. It just amplifies who you already are. So if your program is scarcity, you'll self-sabotage abundance. If your programming is alignment, you're just going to multiply it and attract more. And when your 3 M's work in sync, that's when you step into true freedom. Not just financial, but emotional and spiritual freedom too. And I want that freedom across all realms of life, and that's what I coach all these other high performing men to do. So here's some fucking real talk for you. So let's get brutally honest for a second. Unlearning is hard, yes, because it means admitting that parts of the man you've become were built for survival and that you're going to have to change if you want to move into thriving mode. You built confidence to hide insecurity. You built hustle and busyness to avoid stillness. And you tried to build achievement and success to prove yourself worthy and good enough. And now you're being asked to dismantle the very identity that once kept you safe. That's uncomfortable, but it's necessary, because the version of you that was built to survive can't lead the version of you that's meant to thrive. So this is the transformation that separates performers from leaders, because performers chase validation. They need that validation, the pat on the back to say they're good enough. Leaders are operating from alignment. And the only way to cross that bridge is to unlearn everything that once made you feel powerful and relearn what actually makes you feel peaceful. Let me say that again. Relearn what made you feel powerful and actually build habits that make you feel powerful and peaceful. So here's the new code. Here's the mindset that I live by and I work with my private clients. And I want you to take this away with you. If it no longer serves my peace, then it no longer deserves my power. Let me say that again. If it no longer serves my peace, it no longer deserves my power. Because every time you feel yourself falling into the old loops, the guilt, the overwork, the comparison, that's the old code trying to log back in. But now you've changed the password. You've upgraded the system. You're ready to level up and keep moving forward. You've learned that alignment beats aggression. Purpose beats constant pressure. And calm confidence beats that chronic, overwhelming hustle every single time. So stop letting the old version of you drive through life. He might have got you here, but he's not the one that's going to take you higher and become the best, happiest, richest, most vibrant, aligned version of yourself. Because unlearning and relearning isn't a one-time process. It's going to be a lifelong practice of awareness, accountability and alignment. And that's the beautiful thing. You keep growing and changing and developing over time. So every day you either reinforce your old identity or you're rehearsing and rebuilding your new one. So the difference between the man who breaks through and the man who burns out is simple. One keeps updating the software, the other keeps reinstalling the broken system and then wondering why life still crashes, constantly crashes. 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. Because you have the power to rewrite it all. That's the beauty of it. The thoughts, the patterns, the emotions, the story. That's what's going to truly make you unfuckwithable. Because when your internal world aligns with your external actions, you don't chase success anymore. You attract it. You embody it. You become it. And that's the power of it. When you embody it, you start to become it. So if this hit home, go and download the alignment blueprint. It's free. It'll walk you through the exact system. That I teach high-performing men to realign the 3 M's: mindset, movement, and money from the inside out. The link's in the description. It's free, because this isn't about doing more. It's about becoming more. By unlearning what no longer serves you and relearning what truly makes you powerful. So stay aligned, stay grounded, and keep upgrading your code day after day, because you're closer than you think. So click the links in the description, download the alignment blueprint, the free step-by-step guide to realign the 3 M's, and then I'll see you in the next video. But if you're not going to go download that, don't even bother clicking on the next video, because it's just more dopamine, more information going in without action. So the algorithm's blessed you with this video today. Drop a comment and challenge me with something I've said. Agree with me, disagree with me. Drop some emojis. Let me know you're there. Let's start a conversation. I'll see you in the next video. Let's go.